What's up, everyone? It's Chicks in the Office with Rhea and Fran, giving you that Friday energy on a Wednesday. We are back for our Bachelor in Paradise recap. We have Trent in the building with us, per usual. Welcome back to the show, Trent.
Hello. Excited to be
Trent.
here.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello, Fran. Hello, Rhea.
Hello.
Hello. There is so much to talk about. This was a absolutely wild 2 nights of Bachelor in Paradise. There's conspiracies, there's dumpings, there's a ton of stuff going on. There's also like a ton of like celebrity news happening as well. And because we didn't have an episode Monday for the holiday, we'll have a lot to cover Friday.
Oh, we have a lot.
We have a lot to cover.
There's a lot of celebrity news happening?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. I just want to say, because I want to talk about Paradise, but I do want to say that Red Rocks changed my life. That's it. Once in a lifetime. If you have never been, go see a concert at Red Rocks. Bucket list. The Jonas Brothers were amazing. And I'll talk about it much more on Friday. But
best concert venue you've ever been to?
By far.
Best concert you've ever been to?
Best concert I've been to, I would say no. But best venue, yes. Easily.
Videos were insane.
Yeah, it was just like
sick.
the coolest thing ever. It really, you get distracted by sometimes the music's playing and you're just like looking around.
The rocks.
This is a real place. You're like, how'd these rocks get here? Like, how'd this happen? It's one of those
It's a
things.
great idea.
You know, there's like they found fossils in those rocks from like dinosaurs, like 160 million years old. I did some research. I did a lot of Googling when I got home. I was
Clearly.
like, I want to learn about
Rocks.
rocks. Yeah, specifically. I want to learn about rocks. But let's talk about Paradise, because Monday and Tuesday night, like I said, crazy episodes. We're going to kick it off right off the bat with Monday night's episode. But first,
award show season is coming back around, and this is one of the best award shows, the VMAs, the Video Music Awards on MTV. We all know that some of the best moments ever have happened during the VMAs. What are some that come to mind, Trent?
Madonna and Britney.
Madonna and Britney, that's maybe number one. We also had Miley
Beyonce.
Cyrus twerking on Robin Thicke. You know that the VMAs always brings some pure entertainment to our screens. So make sure you are tuning in Sunday, September 12th at 8/7 Central on MTV. They got performances from Camila Cabello, Justin Bieber, Lil Nas X, Olivia Rodrigo, Machine Gun Kelly, Shawn Mendes. The list goes on and on. All the hottest artists of this time. And hopefully we'll get like a crazy performance of some sort. If not, we're going to riot. But you know it's the VMAs. We're going to get something. So make sure you tune in to the VMAs live on Sunday, September 12th at 8/7 Central on MTV.
we picked up right where we left off with Kendall and Joe. We were left on a massive cliffhanger last week with the Hey Butt headline. And these two go off to talk. And Kendall is very clearly iffy. Like, she's like, I'm okay. I'm not great. I'm not bad. I'm just like, okay. It's hard for her. And it seemed like it was very hard for her to see him like be okay. It felt like that was bothering her a little bit too. She said it's difficult not having him in her life, and that it just went from everything to nothing so quickly. Have a lot to talk about. But what do we think about Joe's position here? Because he does kind of feel like he is out of this relationship with Kendall.
Going back to Kendall for 1 second, it didn't seem like to me that she was doing all that well. Just because it seemed like the whole time she was holding back tears during the conversation. Right. Maybe she wasn't. Maybe that's something I imagine. But she just seemed like since she broke up with Joe, it hasn't been the same, and that she really does miss him. Joe, he's in a tough spot. Because he clearly has a good thing going on with Serena P right now. He wants to keep that going. And he said in the past during a one-on-one with Serena that he's over Kendall. That relationship is over, and he's now moving forward with something else. But during the conversation with Kendall, they kind of fall back into their old ways of why they broke up initially. And it's not really a reason that is, like, I don't want to say viable, but it's not because they didn't like each other. It's not because they didn't love each other. It's because Kendall wanted to live in LA and Joe wanted to live in Chicago. And that's a difference that just like is a frustrating reason, because you clearly still like the person, but neither one of them will commit to one side or the other. So I don't think Joe is completely over Kendall, but he is over talking about oh, are you going to move to Chicago or am I going to move to LA? And they clearly get in a fight about that right away.
Yeah.
I feel like my takeaway from this was that Kendall is more into it than Joe is, or maybe like a little bit more hurt. I feel like Joe, I think, obviously loves Kendall in a way that they spent, a couple of years together. You're going to love that person, but he feels like he can get over it and he will get over it. Whereas Kendall, I think, is a little bit more stuck on it. I don't know why Kendall came to the beach. I think that Kendall should have proposed this information to Joe before Paradise. Like, this kind of just feels like a trap on all angles, like from the producers, from Kendall. Like, Joe, he knew what he was signing up for. He didn't know Kendall was coming to Bachelor in Paradise. Like, it just feels like this shouldn't be happening. And it's almost, I feel bad for Joe and Serena, just because Joe is going to have a lot of feelings come back when your ex shows up on the beach. That's just bound to happen.
In the place where you
the place you met. And they're clearly never going to work out if neither of them can decide a place to live on. Hate to break it to you, you're going to have to live together one day. If it's going to work, you're going to have to be in the same state at least.
Right.
I wonder, I was just thinking about what you just said about why didn't she have this conversation with him outside the beach, because clearly that argument's probably going to be the same. But then you saying this is where they fell in love, maybe that's the idea. You go back, let's go back.
That's why I'm saying trap.
It feels a little like a trap, a little bit, but you go back to where it all happened the first time, maybe he's more open to getting back together. Doesn't seem like that's likely going to happen, but that might have been her idea.
Yeah. And of course, for the viewer, they didn't see this play, but for us, they played a whole montage of them meeting on the beach and their season and falling in love and their kisses and all this stuff. And, that brings up a lot of emotions. They were even saying like, that we kissed on this daybed first and we did that over there. Like, they know where everything's still the same. Like, Paradise has not changed. So everything is still the same, but it does feel like they just keep having the same argument over and over again, which is so frustrating when you're in a couple, like you love someone so much, but you just can't agree on this one thing. Like, you could see Joe get frustrated. He was like, I came to LA and tried to talk to you about this. And here we are again having the same conversation. You won't move to Chicago. I'm not going to LA. And he clearly is upset that she won't even give Chicago a try, I guess is the problem. Like, he thinks that if she loves him enough, then she should be willing to try. But this is where you get stuck, because it's like, okay, well, Kendall could say the same thing. Like, hey, if you loved me enough too, like, why wouldn't you come to LA? Right. Maybe he thinks his reasons for staying in Chicago are more important than Kendall's reasons to stay in LA. We don't really know, because Joe had said that Kendall had always said, I don't want to move for a man. And Joe had said, I should have been more than just a man. So I think he wanted
the love of your life.
Yeah, like, he wanted that to be more serious, looking to take that next step. They were never going to agree. So it's just never going to work. And he knows that, which is why it was like interesting seeing him talk to Serena, because he knows in his brain, like, it's such a battle. You can see it. He knows in his brain.
Yep.
It is not going to work with Kendall. So he's telling Serena, like, you're my priority here. Like, but his heart is like, oh, but she's here, like Kendall. It's like the whole thing, the emotions are coming back. So he's still throwing out like I don't want to be totally positive that like nothing's gonna happen, but
right, at the very least it's going to probably get messy between Kendall and Joe.
Right.
I think that's what he's saying, because he does have that feeling where it's like, she's here, maybe we could try to work it out because they were together for so long. But I do think he mostly has his sights set on Serena P, but it's not going to be super smooth with Kendall the rest of the way, I would imagine.
Yeah. And kudos to Serena, because I think she handled that all very well. Don't know, like, you see some of the way the rest of the girls feel like when their relationships start to go a little haywire, and she was very calm compared to some other reactions, but she just like has to trust Joe at this point, which she obviously is willing to do. So we'll see what happens. I do kind of think that Kendall will just be going home. And because the next, and of course we didn't get a rose ceremony in 4 of these hours, but the next
one, gotta be a
record. The next one is a men's rose ceremony, and there are so many women on Paradise right now, like so many women, that there's going to be a lot going home. So I think Kendall, it's probably going to come to an end. Last week we saw Noah and Abigail have a very bizarre conversation where it seemed like they were pulling back but didn't know but still liked each other. Their conversations are still kind of hard to follow. Like even when they had the conversation Monday about wanting to progress and liking each other, it was still like, what exactly are you guys saying?
Right. Like that was the one on Monday was the most concrete, but it was still confusing.
Yeah.
Like I think they like each other.
Yeah. Like
I'm
Noah
pretty sure.
tweeted like, hey Noah, like form some complete sentences.
Yeah, like wake
pal.
up, splash some water on your face. Let's get this thing going a little bit. But I do think that they're strong.
Yeah.
It's just that they communicate in a strange way. But at that conversation they had on Monday, that was finally like, we're actually going to do this. Like, I know it might seem like we're just sort of floating, but I think they're in it for the long haul. And I think they're going to be one of these successful couples out of this season.
I think they're going to ride it out to the end, but I don't think they're going to get engaged. But I think they're going to fly under the radar and then possibly just keep dating outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Noah really does give off the vibes right now that he wants to continue his life like living in a van on the beach or something. Like he just feels like an island guy. Doesn't he just like look like an island guy now?
He's got all the necklaces on.
He's got the tan.
He's got the tan. He wears
the
white
button
linens.
down. Yeah.
I had said that he almost
Beach
seems
guy.
spiritual.
Yeah.
Like he's been doing a lot of yoga.
Yeah.
He's certainly more relaxed than he was on his season of The Bachelorette, where they were going crazy with Bennett. Now he just seems like,
or he's just like straight up asleep. Like there was a part where Joe, I think it might have been Tuesday's episode, that Joe was like, Noah, like how are you feeling about Abigail or like whatever, and he's like, yeah, all good. We're feeling each other out. Like think we like each other. We're good. And he's like, show any more excitement, my guy. Like come on. And he was like, I just woke up.
He's just so even keeled.
Yeah.
I do think he's asleep. I think he's tired or asleep, one or the other most of the time.
Yeah, we didn't forget that last week he literally did not lift his head off the pillow during that conversation with Abigail. Just couldn't even lift.
An interesting couple, but I think it's going to work.
Yes, they do seem like they could work. I feel like there are very similar, like Dean and Kaylin vibes from those two.
Similar.
Kenny got back from his date with Tia. Mari 100% wants him back, says to him, I still really like you. It's been really hard for me seeing with other people. And Kenny's like, that's great. I just went on the I was
naked.
Demi, I had sex with Demi. I just went on a date with Tia. Like I gotta kind of get all my ducks in a row here before I 100% dive back in.
You can't see boobs like that and then be like ready to go with someone else.
He even said, "Let's talk tomorrow." Let me process all this.
He's in a daze.
Yeah, he's like, I saw boobs. I've been making out with a lot of people on the beach. Like I think it can work, but he needs a little bit of time.
He needs to jerk off and come back to it.
He needs to clear the memory.
Yeah. Really,
clear it out a little bit.
Definitely. Demi is certainly not here for any of this. She talked to him also and called Mari mean, brat, entitled. Lot of
it doesn't seem like Mari is any of those things.
It really doesn't.
It seems like Mari's
like
a nice
very
person.
sweet girl.
Yeah, I agree.
Who got nervous and like panicked and was like, I want to go on other dates. And also, who doesn't feel that way sometimes? You get a little on a show like this, you probably feel a little self-centered. You're like, hey, I want to put myself first. Want to make sure like I get my chances. I want to go on other dates. And then when the guy you like is going out with everyone else, you're like, oh shit.
Mari's a nice person who has a very intense crush.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And those dates never materialized.
Right.
So it's like, she likes Kenny. They clearly had a connection at the beginning. Let's just go that way.
Yeah. And Demi was like, you got yourself in a pickle. Does ask him to go to the boom boom room, which was very uncomfortable because he was like, I actually just want to go to bed.
Yeah.
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 So
first time, respect. Second time became desperate.
Second time was tough. Second time was definitely tough. But then we get into the good stuff.
All right.
It did make me feel sad though for a second for Demi because it felt like she almost had nothing else to offer Kenny besides sex.
Yeah.
Like to get him to like her.
Yeah.
To be like, you want to go to the boom boom room?
That is
Okay. Like trying to get
some, like,
sad.
you know what I mean?
That is a sad reality, but I think you are so right because it worked the first time.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I think that was a big thought for her and like, oh, well, I'm just going to take him from Mari and we're sleeping together and like he's not going to go back to Mari after that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I'm going to go to bed.
I'm going to go to bed. Natasha and Brendan are having this conversation.
Everyone
where,
take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Yeah, this fucking guy. Natasha tells Brendan, and it's just interesting, right? When you see how this is going down and you think back to how Brendan was on Tayshia's season and you're like, huh,
He was so,
interesting.
He was so quiet.
He decided to just fucking leave.
But that's right.
Yeah, he just made it to the end and then was like, I gotta go.
Interesting.
Interesting. Is Pieper. All right, this is what I want to say first. Brendan and Natasha have a conversation where Natasha says to him, like, it feels like a lot of these guys are just waiting for girls to show up or specific girls to show up. And Brendan is like, yeah, like, I'm not like manipulative. I'm not like a manipulative person.
Oh, I don't think I am.
And goes on this, whatever. It's like what seems to be total bullshit because then Pieper shows up and immediately asks Brendan on a date. It's
Right.
not even like a question.
Right. Gets the date card, goes over to the group, doesn't even say
Brendan
like,
was surprised.
doesn't even say like,
These fucking
boy, I got
guys.
a big decision to make here. Brendan, you want to go talk maybe? She was like, Brendan, you want to go on a date? He was like,
date.
he was
The
like,
way
yeah.
Brendan reacted almost made me think in his head he was like, God damn it, Pieper! Like this was not part of the plan.
I really think if
I
you
think
go back,
they thought she needed to maybe talk to some other guys, try and it's
gotta be more subtle.
be a little more subtle with
more
it.
subtle. And this was her vibe the whole time after she walked down, where she was just so excited to see Brendan that it was very obvious that they had spent time together, were probably dating before the show, and Brendan just wanted to be like, oh yeah, I guess, yeah, maybe we'll go on a date or whatever. Pieper was like, let's go on a date because we're dating. That's what makes sense.
Because you are like basically my boyfriend.
Right.
And I'm gonna ask you on a date.
It was a very read the room moment, and she just couldn't read the room at all because everyone was like, what's happening? What's happening right now?
Everyone was shocked. Brendan told Natasha that he didn't expect for this to happen.
Coincidence.
Just a coincidence. All a coincidence is what he said. And that his relationship with Pieper was super casual, but that he was looking forward to have some deeper conversations with her.
Can't wait
to get to know her better.
Get to know this person.
And like that's what they're here for, to get to know people on a deeper level. And I want to have that opportunity with her. It was really just insane. So they
Just bullshit.
Such bullshit. They go on this date, and Pieper clearly wants to know what was going on before she got there, specifically with Natasha. I don't know why she even felt the need to ask, because if they had a plan, or if it was like in her head they're dating, he did what he needed to do to stay there, but she basically made him admit to that. I've just spit completely across the room.
I caught a little bit.
Yeah, it went way. I
Slurped
just
it right up.
Yeah, I visibly saw that go flying towards your
you had a good
direction.
poker face though.
I
You were
want
just
your
like,
saliva in my mouth.
right.
He said specifically, there's certain things that had to be done. Certain ways I had to navigate to bring us to this particular moment.
That
Bro,
was
he sounded like Liam Neeson in Taken.
Right.
I have a
the words he uses
particular
are
set
so
of skills.
fucking annoying.
that is what you say to someone who had previously said,
have a
"Will
certain
you
set of skills."
will you kill this person for me?"
Yeah.
And then that person says yes, and then you come back to them and you say, "Things had to be done, and I did them, and I carried them out, and now we're here together."
Yeah.
Sounds like he fucking killed someone.
That's exactly what it sounds
I buried
like.
the body.
Yeah,
And
it's-
we're okay now.
Yep.
And yeah, he tried to be as like I don't even know what the word is. Like
Coy.
coy. Yeah, tried to be coy.
He admitted it completely with using words that he thought would not be admitting it completely.
Yes.
If that makes sense. Like he thought he was using words that like we wouldn't be like, oh, he set this all up.
Oh, this is what I compared it
I had
to
to
when
do
you're
certain things.
when you're in a room full of people and you text someone in the
Right.
room and someone says, "Oh, Rhea, why'd you text me?" And you're like, "Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck
do
up."
it.
Yep.
No, I didn't text you. Oops.
And Piper's smiling. She's like, yeah, you did. That's
She's
my
like,
guy. She's
That's
like,
my man.
she's like, yeah, what would you have done if you were here and I came here and you were already gone? Like, what
You
would we
fucking
do? It was
con
like, yeah.
artist.
And then this is another thing that he said specifically, that, it was good for them to be there now, because they want to be able to utilize the time and, quote, taking utilize the time here and taking advantage of what Paradise would promote together.
Again, words that he thought he was being sneaky.
Yeah.
But we all have brains, and we're like, oh, they planned this whole thing.
Yeah.
Us Weekly.
Yeah.
Right.
And then what's also interesting is I don't know where they took this clip from because it is a voiceover, so you don't know where. Like, Pieper could have said this in an interview days later, and they used it in this situation. But when they were leaving the date, you hear Pieper say, like, he's my boyfriend. Like, this is, you're like, oh,
okay.
Okay.
So you guys are just full on dating.
So, like, he's your boyfriend. Oh,
so you guys wanted a trip to Mexico.
You guys just wanted a vacation. That would get you guys some Instagram followers.
It's a moment.
Okay, but like you said, the show's for single people.
Right. We need to figure out a way to get single people on this show.
The show is for single people.
Let's
if you're not
figure
single,
that out.
please don't come on the show.
Do not come on the show.
Yeah.
If you are in a relationship, don't go to Paradise.
It's insane.
That's our
They
advice.
gotta stop hooking up beforehand.
I have to.
It really just hit me. They really have to fucking stop.
ABC needs to put something in their contracts. Those contracts are so iron tight for so many things. We gotta start
No canoodling.
with anyone from other seasons pre-Paradise.
If it becomes clear
We will be checking your DMs.
that you showed up as a couple, we will fine you $10 billion.
Yeah, like put like a ridiculous number.
I
on
want
it.
the biggest legal number they can throw at them.
Put a ridiculous number on
because
it.
honestly,
It's amazing how these people can't fake it. They're not good at faking it at all.
They're not actors.
The thing about what's going on with Pieper and Brendan is that there are people who are going to go on the show in the future looking at this as a blueprint of what not to do.
Yeah.
And you know what? Pieper and Brendan have clearly spent way too much time together to fake it. You know what I mean? Like, if they maybe had a little discussion here or there, they could probably fake it.
Right.
They've
Jasenia
spent
and Chris
too much.
felt more like they don't know each other that well. They know each other, but not
Brendan
well.
and Pieper, they know each other. They know each other's families. They know each other's siblings' names. They know everything, and they're acting very clear about it.
Right.
But if they actually did spend all the time, wouldn't they have had like this talk where like, hey, I'm gonna go in. If you come in late, like I might have to like be with someone else. Just
yeah, they
like,
clearly did. I mean, Pieper, I think, fucked it up.
Yeah.
It was like she didn't know there were
fucked it up.
cameras filming her because she was like, "Why are you talking like this?"
That
like,
dinner,
Yeah.
I went back and watched it today.
Yeah.
I could not believe it.
It's shocking.
Can I just say that it's almost classic though that like Pieper was not keeping the cool about it that much.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like any girl in that situation would be like, no, we like really like each other, and like he really likes me, and like
Pieper,
who really cares about the whole
think,
other
like,
situation?
Pieper is also 23. Like she's young.
Yeah.
You know,
Speaking as a 24-year-old, I would be
How
like,
old is Natasha?
I would be like,
33.
oh,
33.
yeah. I'd be like, oh, who cares, Brendan? Like, no, we clearly made a plan. We're here for that.
Right. So and
so
also
well.
it's much more typical of, I think, a younger girl to come in and be like, well, you better fucking tell me everything you did when I wasn't here.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Right.
How what happened? You gotta tell me. Sorry, I need to know everything.
The cool goes out the window.
Yeah. So Natasha was smart and went to speak to them, but grabbed just Pieper because
Brilliant.
they also know each other. Like Natasha and Pieper know each other. Pieper, we had said Pieper been on their podcast. Like they knew each other in some capacity. Were they friends? I don't know. Probably not. But they knew each other enough that when Pieper came down on the beach, she said like, good to see you, you know, not like nice to meet you or anything. So she's like, hey, can you tell me what's going on with you and Brendan? I think he's telling me one thing.
How many times did you guys hang out before the show?
Pieper cleared everything up. She was like, how long have you known him? And she was like, 2 months. He's like, oh, he told me 1 month. And then she was like, how many times have you hung out? And he's like, probably like 10-ish times. She's like, oh, he told me 2. So she's clearly getting some clarity. And
10 times is a lot of times.
It's a lot of times.
10 times is a lot of times.
She
Went to
solo.
Boston.
No, you're fully dating.
You're
after
dating.
10 times.
10 times is so many.
10 times that you're, like I said, you are past the point of getting
10
to know each
times
other.
you're like in love.
No, 100%. They're in love.
10 times you're in love?
Oh, yeah.
I know I know you're exaggerating, but like
I am
you can
exaggerating.
be 5 times in 1 week. That's
Yeah,
1
but they
week.
don't live in the same places.
10
so
times.
Like, they don't live in the same places, so they're planning trips to see each other. Like I'm thinking,
Think about 10
thinking
separate
weekends.
times.
Oh, 10 separate times.
Yeah.
10
Yes,
separate times they have hung out.
it's a lot.
That's a lot.
They really like each other. Maybe not in love yet, but they really like each
Look,
other.
it was enough for Us Weekly to say they were dating, so, and they knew
Let's
that.
not forget that.
Let's not forget that. And these two, have just like Pieper says, we don't want to be a TV couple. We're not trying to like vlog our life. It's like, why did your brain even go there? Because that's not what like.
You don't have
Natasha didn't say like, oh, are you guys going to be like vlogging your life? She just
you don't have to vlog when other people are holding the camera.
Gave up that information.
Yeah, that's Piper's entire plan. She's like, we're gonna vlog our lives. They're gonna get negative YouTube subscribers.
Oh God!
At this point, at their follower rate.
Yeah,
that's the thing too. If the idea is that you're going to go on the show to get famous and get followers, you saying that with a mic on and in front of cameras is going to do the opposite, because people are going to see it, and what's happening now is just going to keep happening, where they fucked over Natasha.
Yeah.
People are mad about that. People are then even more mad about you saying, this is going to be so good for us. Our names are going to be all over the place. We're going to get so many followers. And people are going to be like, fuck that. Everybody's going to unfollow you. And the people who don't unfollow you are going to say, oh yeah, I guess I still follow those people who were complete assholes on Paradise. Like, it's not a recipe for success.
It's worse than just wanting to be the Bachelor. Like the whole wanting to be the Bachelor conversation.
Sure. Yes.
It's worse than that.
Oh, my feelings with Thomas, I have like no hard feelings at this point compared to what other things are happening. But I'm still not totally sold that this wasn't some just unbelievably well orchestrated plan from the Bachelor in Paradise producers.
You think Natasha's in on it?
I don't know.
You got this galaxy brain where you're thinking on a whole different level.
I just kind of think that they may have told Natasha one thing and they told Pieper and Brendan another thing, and then they put it together in a perfect sandwich that just exploded. Because the one clip that everyone focused on a lot, because he was talking like an absolute dickhead, was Brendan talking off to someone on the side. It seemed like he didn't even know he was on camera, saying Natasha, she didn't even have any prospects. You know, she probably would have got saying she would have gone home if he didn't give her these roses anyway. And I just feel like if that was someone else on the show, they would have shown who he was talking to.
Yeah.
So I feel like he was talking to her producer. And it's like, oh, I had to do what I had to do to get Pieper here. And for us, Natasha, nobody even liked her anyway.
But the crazy thing is that it never even occurred to him that maybe she just liked him. Like, that's why she was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's and it sucks for Natasha in that moment. Like, really unfortunate. Like, I imagine she felt like shit. But the other part of my brain is like, one side is like, oh yeah, she had no idea. Like, she's generally so upset. Other part of my brain is like, Natasha is coming out of this looking fantastic.
She's getting 180,000 Instagram followers in 20 hours.
Exactly.
I said this on Cunning's Time. Sometimes being fucked over works in your favor.
Yeah. Either that or I don't know. It's because the relationship with the people who are within the franchise, I just think sometimes get special treatment. Becca just getting a day card because she's Becca.
She was the Bachelorette. Come on, Fred.
But then I guess I am contradicting myself a little bit, because Joe also, Joe and Natasha do that podcast together.
Yeah.
And
he didn't.
I mean, they clearly tried to fuck over Joe. They brought Kendall in. So
yeah,
it's also very possible that they knew Natasha was just the victim of this Brendan Pieper setup, because they for sure set up Pieper coming in later to have something like this happen, and to not have them come in at the same time. What really turned everyone off from Brendan even more than those moments that we saw were him talking to Natasha, because he says to Natasha they were a friendship couple, that he gave her the rose so that she could meet someone else. This is what he said. I specifically said to you, I don't have those type of feelings for you on a romantic level, but you're such an amazing person. I want to give you this rose and give you an opportunity to be here another couple days and to meet people. And Natasha was like, you never said that.
Nope.
Never said that. Can confirm. We'll watch it back. You never said it.
Read that one more time, because it's so specific that she would remember.
And he really is trying to make her believe what he is saying, and it's just not the truth.
Maybe we all have selective hearing.
Right.
It was so much conversation about gaslighting on the show, and this was Brendan being like, this is what he said. I specifically said to you, I don't have those type of feelings for you on a romantic level, but you're such an amazing person. I want to give you this rose and give you an opportunity to be here another couple of days and to meet people.
That is a conversation that Natasha remembers 100 times out of 100.
Yeah.
You never want to hear the word specifically.
Yeah, I specifically
You cheated on me
said
when
to
I
you.
specifically asked you not to.
If you start a sentence like that, you're cooked.
And then he has the balls to tell Natasha that she has selective hearing.
So bad.
Brendan's balls are dragging on the floor. And
So
that's
bad.
Selective hearing?
And this
selective
is
hearing is bad.
It's like basically him
Selective
trying to say
hearing-
you made this all up in your head.
Someone tells me I have selective hearing, I'm throwing my phone at the wall.
right. Like I'm surprised Natasha
Have
didn't
done it
punch him
before.
in
I
the
know.
face.
He really tried to make it seem like he really tried to get Natasha to think that she created this relationship in her mind and that it never actually existed.
Right. And Brendan made a lot of mistakes, but this is the biggest one.
Yeah.
We've talked about it. People go on these shows to get followers, to get more famous, to get their name out there. That's fine. If we said that we didn't know that was part of the show, we'd be lying. We know that it is. And that's actually fine. Like if that's what makes it run every once in a while, that's okay. But you can't treat somebody like shit.
No.
Lead them on, tell them they have selective hearing, tell them they're making all these things up when it clearly just didn't happen. That's where you're just a tremendous asshole.
Yeah. Natasha then asked him, like, if another girl came in and she wanted to go on a date with you, would you go? And he was like, probably not.
He also started to say, unless I had selective hearing in this moment, I thought he said that after that question, he said, well, out of respect for the process. Like he was almost starting to say, I would, because this is why we're here. And I think Natasha could have killed him in that moment.
I know.
And everyone would have been okay with it.
Brendan's like, no, Natasha, I wouldn't go on another date because I have a girlfriend.
Right. That's pretty much what he said.
If Natasha was Tammy, he would be dead.
It was just...
If only. Like, it's a part of me that respects Natasha so much because she did handle that situation so well and so with so much class. If she fucking destroyed him, would it have been good TV? Yeah, absolutely. Because, like, we saw it. Jasenia did not hold back going into Chris.
Right.
We'll get to that. But it was, like, a very similar situation.
At this point in Monday's episode, I legitimately could not believe what was happening.
Shocked. And I also want to say, wild of them to put that incident on the Monday night of Labor Day weekend episode.
Right.
Like, has to be their least watched episode.
I wasn't watching live.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I started late. Like, I started really late, and then was able to catch up because, commercials, and I almost finished, like, by the time episode actually finished. But
they should have done Tuesday and Wednesday.
yeah, like it's on a night when so many people are relaxing, or it's last night before school starts for a lot of kids. It's like, why would you put the juiciest thing on
We had
that
off.
night? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was like it's a
Everyone
day
had off, actually.
totally a relaxing day. We also saw a conversation which is so crucial for us as viewers and frustrating that nobody else heard it on the beach, because we know it happened. Was them, like I said, here we go again, talking about how, do you see that Us Weekly article? Like, it's like about them dating and seeing each other, and about how their Instagram followers went up after that article came out, and how she was like, I was at 70. I think when I left, I'm at like 78. And she was, I guess, I don't know which Serena she was talking to, which is interesting, if it was Serena P or the other Serena, Serena
C. Yeah.
Saying like, you're going to have so much airtime before you even get there because everyone's going to be talking about you. It was so
Do they not know that they're being filmed at all times?
I don't know. And it's fun. And they do, though, because that's
Go
when...
into the pool.
I know. That's
Right.
when...
Yeah.
That is when Brendan tried to like muffle his microphone.
He said,
he,
I'm
like,
incriminating
tried to
myself.
put his hand over his microphone, and he said, I incriminated myself enough where it's like, I'm screwed. So at least he has some sense of reality.
So bad when you're covering the mic saying I incriminated myself enough.
That's
I forgot I'm on a hot mic.
Right. That's like trying to, like, if you're trying to infiltrate the mob,
It's
and
like a
they have you
double
on the table cutting
incrimination.
you open, you're like, oh shit, my fucking mic is still on.
Literally a double incrimination. It's like you have incriminated yourself already, and now you are talking about incriminating
You
yourself.
can't openly talk about incriminated yourself. You can't.
You've been on a hot mic this whole time, and now you're talking about being on a hot mic on a hot mic.
Oh my God.
What is stunning?
He also had the balls to say that Natasha was starting to annoy him. He was like, she's annoying me. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Brendan needs to be dragged off this beach, as well as Pieper. Get them, stuff them both in a luggage and take them off.
I just don't understand. I really don't.
And that's why Tuesday's episode was so frustrating, because it was like, did we forget about them? Hello, anyone? Anyone?
We just didn't hear from them because we just got the same exact situation with an entirely new couple that we don't care about.
It felt like we then split off into an alternate universe, and then the same thing happened again, but it was with people we don't care about.
It was the same thing, different fonts.
Yeah.
Right. Same thing, just people who I don't even really know who they are.
A bunch of one-nighters.
Bunch of one-nighters.
It didn't make any sense. It really didn't.
No.
But let's get into Tuesday night. Before we do that, let me tell you guys about Upstart. Upstart is the fast and easy way to pay off your debt with a personal loan all online. Whether it's paying off credit cards, consolidating high-interest debt, or funding personal expenses, over 500,000 people have used Upstart to get one fixed monthly payment. Upstart knows you're more than just your credit score and is expanding access to affordable credit. Unlike other lenders, Upstart considers your income and current employment to find you a smarter rate for your loan. With a 5-minute online rate check, you can see your rate upfront for loans between $1,000 to $50,000. And you can receive funds as fast as 1 business day after accepting your loan. You guys got to check it out. So to find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today, you can go to upstart.com/chicks. Once again, that is upstart.com/chicks to find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. We also want to mention that there has just been no host, lawless.
Which
there really are no rules.
No rules.
I actually kind of like in this specific moment that there's no adult in the room.
No host. There's Wells.
It's craziness.
Trying to wrangle these kids up. They're doing crazy things.
Right. Wells is the adult, but he's also the person supplying them with alcohol.
Yeah.
So it's sort of, it contradicts itself.
Absolutely.
He's like the mom from Mean Girls.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, I'd rather you do it in the house.
Yeah. I'd rather you just do it on the beach. But Titus Burgess showed up. He's our new host. He's fantastic. He's a very, very funny person. And he says he's throwing a tight ass party. Ha ha ha. Nailed it. But it's basically like a Love Island. Like, it cracks me up because it's literally exactly like when they get to like 3/4 of the Love Island season and they get the text that's like, you're going to club night, and they all get dressed up and then they go to the club and then they get a text at the club and it's like, we have an elimination right now. Like, you have to, 2 people are going home. They did that, but bringing in new girls. Mm-hmm. And it was also interesting because specific people were invited to this party, not everyone. Yeah. So producers specifically.
So fucked up.
Yeah, producers specifically left home half of some couples that were weak, strong, just to see like if they could mix shit up. Like, they left Marissa there because her and Riley are so strong. They left Tammy there because her and Thomas, something could be happening there. Thomas could potentially find someone else. So they left Kendall. Like, they really tried to just mix it up big time.
Marissa lost her shit about Riley being at this party, which is not great because they've only been talking for 5 days. And if they're going to be in the real world, she's got to be okay with Riley maybe potentially going out without her.
Yeah.
But wasn't that after she realized what happened to Jasenia? So she kind of got worried, like, oh,
good call.
Right? Like, I think she was
remember that.
She came back crying and then she started to freak out.
That might have been.
That might have been it, which would make more sense.
I think that's what it was. I don't think it was just a random,
What?
I think that she saw Jasenia come back and heard what happened with her. And then she started to freak out about Riley, possibly.
Oh yeah, that's definitely for sure.
I think,
that would make the most sense.
Yeah.
Demi also tried to get Kenny to go to the boom boom room again. That did happen. That was when time 2 happened. But he clearly I think is going right back to Mari at this point. So the VIP list for the party: Becca, Aaron, Noah, Abigail, Kenny, Jasenia, Chris C, Riley, Deandra, James, Thomas, Demi. So Mari, Marissa, Tammy, Kendall, Joe, Serena, Ivan, Natasha stayed home. And also Brendan and Pieper, I guess. They were also not on that list. So they're stressed. They're worried. Specifically, Mari's worried about Demi and Kenny. What's going on? But they are going to this club. They're dancing. They're having a good time when Chelsea, Alana, Alea, and McKenna come in. Alana, night one on Matt's season, sent home, I believe. Everyone else, obviously, there's a recognition there. McKenna, Chelsea, Alea. It's interesting that they didn't put Victoria P and Alea on this show at the same time, but that must have been too much.
Yeah.
But Chris, very happy Alana was there. Who'd have thought?
Chris is a scumbag.
I wouldn't have thought because I don't know who these people are.
Yeah. Multiple times watching Chris, multiple times when Trent was cracking me up because he's like, what are these people's names again?
Right. Like you're trying to make me feel something about people that I have no feeling towards.
Right.
Night one, Chris and Alana.
Right. And
That's who they are.
I understand that it's bad for Jasenia when she sees the two of them off in this side room making out.
Right.
And that's a big deal and that's unfortunate. But like, I don't understand.
Grocery Store Joe is who Chris and Alana wish they were.
Right.
Yes.
Grocery Store Joe was
Grocery
a one
Store
night.
Joe has some
and
fucking integrity.
He has made a name for himself. Let me
And
tell
some
you.
respect for the goddamn
God,
rules of the
I
beach.
fucking
He's a purist.
love Joe.
He's the only one that's like, hey man, you're supposed to come on this show single. That's like literally the one rule.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
That's like your mom saying like telling you something you should already know.
Yeah.
Like she's just like, come on. You come on this show and you're single.
Yeah.
That's it.
We got food at home.
Be yourself. We got food at home. You don't need any of that candy.
You don't need
my dad
McDonald's.
used to
Not at
say to us
McDonald's.
as a kid, if you just tell the truth, you'll never get in trouble, which certainly didn't
know what my
happen,
dad
but
told me as
when
a
we
kid?
were younger, that's really
What?
I don't care how you get the grades, just get them.
yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome. That just gave me chills.
100.
Wait, what age were you? Do you
I
think?
was in high school.
Not messing around. Like,
Man, that is like, but that's,
It was his life,
all right.
yeah.
and that I did.
That's some sage advice there.
Jasenia and Alana clearly have like a history. They know each other. They've hung out before, and you can tell they both like the same guy and have liked the same guy on the outside. She had said that Alana threw herself at Chris in San Diego, and they immediately go off, Chris and Alana, and they're like making out within 2 seconds, and Jasenia sees it happen. But this is like Chris. I feel like Chris did what Brendan did in the sense that he obviously went in with a plan, but I think he went in with 2 plans, which is where he really fucked himself over.
Two
Like,
half plans.
yeah, exactly. Like
Plan
he
A.
went in like, ooh, I like Jasenia, and I'm going to talk to her and tell her I'm going on Paradise. And ooh, I like Alana, and I'm going to talk to her and tell her I'm going on Paradise. And I'll just figure it out when I get there.
I weirdly think that that's smarter than what Brendan did.
Well, I said this San Diego stagecoach.
Yeah, but it's not going to work if you tell both girls, like, yeah, I'm coming to Paradise for you, which I think is what he probably did.
Wild. I understand it. Maybe he thought that the girls were doing the same to guys.
Yeah. And don't say Jasenia's your number one.
She's clearly not
that's
your
a
number
mistake.
one.
Brendan never, I will say, Brendan never, what was so obvious about Brendan and Natasha the whole time was that the connection was not there for him. You could
100%.
visibly see it.
Yep.
Like you could tell he was stringing her along, it felt like. Chris seemed to really like Jasenia, and they were talking about how strong as the couple they were and that Jasenia was his number one going into this.
But we do agree that the feelings that Chris had for either girl were not nearly as strong as Brendan's were for Piper before they went in.
Yeah. I don't think they knew each
spent
other on that
10
level.
Hangouts together.
10 hangouts in different parts of the country.
Yeah.
So I see it's you shouldn't have a plan going into Paradise. That is a mistake.
Yeah.
But like this one, I don't think it was ever going to work, but it had a chance to work, I think.
Alana did not know what was going on either, clearly. But they're heavy making out on this dance floor.
Yeah.
With Olivia Holt singing in the background.
Those
and
two
Jasenia in the room.
are never going to make it because they can't figure out how to make out.
That was hard. That was actually really tough
Hard
to
to
watch.
watch. Chris and
Yeah.
Alana's makeouts were tough to watch.
Yeah. Having Alana be like, no, you need to like,
Yeah, and he's like,
Get assertive here.
and he's like, oh, straddle me, like that would be crazy. It's paradise. But that he wants her to get on top of him. Like, I don't know. They were making me so uncomfortable, the both of them.
I just don't give a fuck about these two people, They just, they're running what's like. I want to be talking about Brendan and Pieper during this episode, and they were just like, we're going to do the same thing.
We're going to give you
and take away all the attention.
Version.
Right.
Mm-hmm. The night
the
one,
Walmart
the
version.
night one version.
Right.
Yeah, and he tries to talk to Jasenia. She doesn't want to hear any of it. She goes home early, goes back to the girls, tells them what's going on. She has a great eye roll right in his face. Jasenia's got a good eye roll. It was well done. But it is interesting because, I like Jasenia, and I think that she put a lot of faith in Chris that was like gonna work, because she also, was talking to Ivan, and when Chris showed up was like, oh no, I want to talk to Chris. So I don't know if she's thinking maybe like that was a mistake. Maybe I can get Ivan back. Sweet Ivan.
What's Ivan been up to?
Nothing.
Okay. Okay.
Ivan's still there.
Nothing. Ivan is still there.
Oh my
and
God.
he has a rose to give to someone.
Oh my God.
I hope
Who
he
knows?
gives it to Jasenia.
It's either that, or I think he might give it to Natasha to keep her there, potentially. Or maybe one of the new girls.
I think that Jasenia might be better off staying than Natasha, because is Natasha going to want to stick around and watch this Brendan and Pieper shit happen? It just, at this
I
point,
don't know.
Chris and Alana are gone.
Yeah.
They got on separate cars.
Try to get in the same
They
car.
got bullied off the beach
Yeah, they did.
by Joe and Riley.
Yeah. Natasha's not going to want to stick around and see that.
Yeah, so Jasenia goes back to the girls. Everybody's very emotional because they don't know what's going on at this party. And then it immediately cuts to like the next morning. There was no transition.
Hard
no
cut.
like coming back from the party, no nothing. It was like all of a
Disappointing.
sudden the next day. And Mari goes to tell Kenny, like, I really like you. I care about you. I want this to happen. Their feelings are very strong. She feels like she's 100%. And then we got into an argument about this because they ended their conversation with, I would like leave here right now with you. And he was like, I would leave here right now with you too. And you were like, so fucking leave. Then.
So leave. I really think like that's the point of paradise, right? Is to
Yes.
find someone to eventually, hopefully leave the beach with.
Correct.
But there's engagements involved.
But you can't like, if that
And
was
also-
true, the couples will just be leaving the show
Right.
all the time.
yeah, like
Fantastic.
No, but then there's no people
then
left.
there's no end.
the difference is
Then the
Then the
show's over.
finale is just nothing.
no. All right, but then the difference is that like I guess I hadn't really thought about the engagement part. Like that's obviously what you want to get to.
Why
at the
would
end.
they leave the beach when they could just have a nice vacation together together? They like each other. They're going to stick together. Now they could just hang out on the beach.
I guess if the ultimate goal is
Think
to
about the past
be in a
couples.
relationship, once you're in one, why run any sort of risk of falling out of that relationship because some of the shenanigans that go on?
The ultimate goal is show up single,
Yep.
meet someone,
Show up single.
meet
Very
someone,
important rule.
and then coast to the end, a la Kevin and Astrid.
yeah. Dylan and Hannah, there
Yeah.
was a little thing in the beginning with Blake, but after that,
Yep.
they were solid.
Yep.
Joe and Kendall even.
Yeah.
I think if you say we should leave here together, we
She didn't say we
specifically-
should
Wasn't we
leave
should,
here
like,
together. She
it
was
was
just
I
expressing
would. It
how
was-
much she
yes.
liked him.
Yes.
I would leave with you right now.
It was to show that
And
that's
then-
how committed she was, because her whole argument before was like, I might want to fucking get in there. Her argument was like, I still kind of want to go on dates with her if anybody else shows up. And her saying like, I would leave right now is her being like, I don't care who else is coming because I would leave right now with you.
just felt like there was an extra beat when she said I would leave with you right now, and he said I would leave with you right now. And I think one of them was waiting for the other to stand up and walk off the beach together, and instead they stuck around.
You know what I thought the beat was? That Kenny wouldn't actually leave with her right now and was like, I'm going to say this and I hope that she doesn't actually want to leave right now. That was the vibe I got from that.
Could
Because
be.
he has been bouncing around a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah,
I mean, how solid really is he in
He's
this?
been having a lot of fun on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he
had sex with Demi.
He had sex
He
with
did.
Demi.
Yeah.
And Demi...
And he saw Tia's boobs. Kenny has gotten the most action on
So
this
much
beach
action.
by far.
Yeah, it's true.
And he saw all those other people naked. No relation with them, but
He's seen
saw it.
So many naked bodies.
Yeah. Demi, this is the thing with Demi, and this is how I feel about Demi. She is there for a reason. She's there for drama, and I think she really does put on a very confident persona a lot of times, when in reality, she's a lot more insecure than she seems. Because the way she like lashes out when things don't go her way is still a little bit immature, in the fact that like here she is talking to Kenny, she's very upset, as she should be. You know, you have sex with someone, there are feelings there. They had sex, and now he's like, I'm done. I'm gonna go back to her.
Right.
That obviously really hurt her, and so she's lashing out. But her lashing out is calling Morais stuck up as fuck, evil, pageant girl, like really going after her in very not nice ways.
Takes a lot to call someone evil.
Yeah, that you don't know. You don't really know Morais.
She's not evil.
Yeah.
You have to do something wrong to you to be called evil. If she did something wrong to Demi, evil.
Yeah. Chris, meanwhile, looks like he ran over his dog in the driveway. Like he is just pouting all over the place. Jasenia doesn't want to talk to him. No one cares. Riley actually said the man is a clown. He has no honor. Riley is a fucking man of honor.
Oh,
There was one man on here that I think he is.
He really is.
He wears
man
the badge
of honor. Alana shows up with the date card. Of course, wants to take Chris on this date. So he plans to go on this date, talks to her, says yes, and then shows up again. And Tammy's like, hey, you should probably like talk to Jasenia before you go on this date. He tries to, and Jasenia is like, fuck off. Like, I don't have anything left to say.
Great moment for her.
Yeah,
really
she
good.
really,
just like get the fuck out of here.
really doesn't care. And it was also funny because I forgot about this. Like, Chris and Alana like addressed the whole group. He had said, we're going on a date today. I know it's going to upset a lot of you guys, but I'm following my heart right now, and that's what I came here to do. And Joe said, dude, nobody cares.
I love Joe so much. I love him so much.
I just picture him starting that announcement and everyone turning around like, what's happening over there?
I wish someone in that group said, they don't even go here to the both of them, because
Nobody is really going to hate.
nobody's.
Nobody is really going to hate you because nobody cares about you.
Who made the announcement earlier this season at the rose ceremony, being like, I am. Who said that?
I know what you're
Kenny
talking about.
and
Oh, it was Kenny.
No.
Shoot, I can't.
yeah,
remember.
it was Kenny talking about his relationship with Morais, and Morais was like, you just like didn't need to.
Oh, and he was with Demi.
He was like, me and
That's
Morais
right.
are done, and she was like, that's fucking news to me. Thanks for announcing that to the
As
group.
if it's something you do.
Right.
Yeah.
Announcements on this show are unnecessary, but I welcome them.
Yes.
I want more of someone starting an announcement. People are like, where's that even coming from?
Yeah. So
Loudspeaker.
Joe also tells Jasenia that Chris was asking him for advice on like how to come across as likable like on the show, and that he feels like he's just quote unquote doing Paradise. And Joe also said the messed up part about all of this is that he like in his head he's really proud of himself. And this whole time it's crazy because watching it, talking about it now, I forget about it more, but in the moment of watching it, all I can think about was, why are they not talking to Brendan about all of these things that they are talking to Chris about?
Big time.
It's coming.
It
is coming,
It
though.
better be. I don't know if it is.
No, it's for sure coming. I feel it brewing.
I'm doubtful. I have my doubts.
I mean, did you guys not watch the preview for next week?
Yeah, but it just, I don't know. It seemed like there's not that much to pull from, because they made us, in the preview for this week, they made us think Riley was yelling at Brendan, and it wasn't. It was Chris.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how much footage do they have that's how they're like trying to make it? I don't know. We'll see. I really do hope so, because it's kind of ridiculous that they're just
It's the
getting
same
off
scenario
here.
and they should have had the same conversation. And yeah, the whole time we were like, man, I wish they were using this firepower.
Well, I
Yeah,
think,
they went
I
after-
think
they went after
Natasha's
the
going to
easy
say something,
targets.
though. I think
Yeah.
Natasha. We heard Natasha say, "Why are they getting away with this?" Also,
Yeah, I hope
Brendan
she
and
does.
Pieper better pipe down, because they're fucking giving Chris and Alana shit, and Brendan's like, "Can you believe this
Pieper.
guy?" And you're just like, "What the fuck are you two on?"
Literally, like,
Who
Jasenia
gives
called
you
Chris,
the right?
Jasenia called
Where do
Chris-
you get off?
Jasenia called Chris scum, I think, and Pieper was like, "Yeah, scum."
Yeah, boo! And then at one point they cut to Brendan and Pieper on one of those day beds, and he was talking about Chris being like, he's just using this system to get more followers. It's
that scene in Anchorman where Brick just like walks over to the other side and starts laughing at the guys. Like,
it's like, what are you doing? Get back over here. Get back over here. I just hope that, I hope Rhea's right that it's coming next week, because if not, then we really have a scenario where it's because they're part of different friend groups on the beach.
Yeah.
Because the other two are not.
I think that really is coming into play here, too. I think, like, Chris and Alana don't really know anyone. I think a lot of people are friends with Jasenia. There are a lot of girls from Jasenia's season on. Alana was on that season, but she was there for one night, so they don't know her, really. And I think Jasenia also has, like, a thing against her, clearly, from before with some situation with Chris. And Pieper also is very close with those girls, where they're going to defend her. And so we'll see what happens there. Natasha, Joe needs to be, the energy Joe is using for Chris, Joe needs to be using for his pal, for Natasha.
Yes.
They are friends. So I hope that does happen at some point. Chelsea shows up and takes Aaron on a date. Chelsea is, a drop-dead gorgeous supermodel.
She deserves better than Aaron, please, for the love of God.
This is the thing. There's just, I understand why she's on Paradise, but there is just not a guy good enough for her.
No, she's stunning, and she needs to get away from Aaron immediately.
Yeah. But Aaron,
she just picked the wrong person on that beach to go on a date.
She really did.
Because somebody lied to her and said that Aaron is fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
That person really did Chelsea a disservice. Because by all accounts, and all of the footage that we have watched the last couple of years, he is not a fun person to hang out with.
She made it seem like a whole ton of people. So do you think they all were just like, it would be a funny joke if we just told her?
No, they wouldn't do that to sweet Chelsea.
No.
Somebody steered her wrong.
Yeah, for sure. And then Becca also got a date, which she took Thomas, but she also had a nice conversation, because Becca, she's a good person. Becca had a conversation with Tammy and was like, hey, how are you feeling about this? I would like to ask him on the date. And for Tammy, it's I can't ask him not to go. We're not at that point. I'm sure, and she was hoping he would say no. He did not. So she's very upset about that. And it does kind of feel like Becca and Thomas did hit it off on their date. Becca was like, hey, I didn't really watch what went on Katie's season with him, trying to go in with a clean slate, judgment-free, form my own opinions about people, which is interesting. And we'll see if that works out, because if Thomas is the guy that they all say he is, he's going to fucking love to be going out with the Bachelorette.
Right. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
Becca, you fucking kidding me? She's the queen of the beach.
The next best
prized
thing
possession.
After The Bachelor.
For sure.
Speaking
you
with
can't
the
be the
Bachelorette.
Bachelor. You get to date the Bachelorette. You know how many followers she has?
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know what Thomas's true intentions are.
I
can't get a read on him ever.
I said this multiple times tonight, but I didn't say it on the podcast, so I'll say it now. I want Becca, Tia, and Kendall to leave the beach. The three of them, go home.
I think when you say that, I think your heart is in the right place.
Oh, I'm not, respectfully speaking.
Yeah.
Kendall, 100%. Becca, I don't mind. And Tia, I wish that there were other options for her there.
They're just past this.
I don't know if it's necessarily that they're past it. I think that since they're from older seasons, there's no guys there that match up with the timeline. The guys on these seasons are really young, and they're from these last couple seasons.
Right.
And so there's no, they need to go back to Becca's season or Rachel's season, even farther back of guys that are older. But, that's, I don't know if any of those guys would be wanting to go on Paradise.
I'd love to see some of those older contestants walk down the stairs.
But I just think that's the only way that potentially Tia would be finding someone. I just couldn't imagine Tia with any of those younger guys that are on the beach, Aaron.
No.
James. I don't know. I just don't.
James
Boy. Actually, I don't know. Maybe James and Tia wouldn't be that bad.
I kind of forgot he was there.
Yeah, he's
He's always sort of like
He
in
just
a
always has
conversation.
sassy commentary about Thomas, and that's kind of
he always adds on to a conversation that's already happening.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck yeah, James.
Yeah.
Get him.
This is when they rail into Chris and Alana after they come back from their date. And Jasenia's saying, you know, he used me to get a rose. And meanwhile, Natasha's at the bar being like, wow, this really sounds familiar. Anybody want to help me out here? Like, whoa, hello. But Joe and Riley take it upon themselves to be like, you got to go. This is bullshit. Get the fuck out of here. Like, Jasenia's saying you got to leave.
I think Jasenia at one point said, get the fuck out of paradise.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Jasenia
she
must
did.
have felt awesome that all these people came to her defense.
Having
though.
Riley and Joe back there,
having
like,
Riley
what's
and Joe
up?
step up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
Jasenia
God.
had everyone. I mean, Aaron said he's
If I'm
on that
Jasenia, I'm
gang
asking
shit
those
with
two-
Jasenia.
Wait, what? What?
Remember when Aaron said
Yeah.
he's on that gang shit with Jasenia?
Oh yeah, no, I
Team
tried to.
Jasenia.
I tried to
If
forget.
I'm Jasenia, I'm asking Joe and Riley to have a threesome after that.
Boy, I did not
So I
think
had
that's.
to get one in there.
Yeah, fair. I did not think that's where that was going, but you know,
Yeah.
Riley was getting upset, and you seemed happy about it. You seemed happy about Riley getting angry about Chris.
When Riley gets angry, Rhea gets blank.
Yeah.
That's a fun interactive game for all of our
Yeah,
listeners.
Ad lib.
And then I honestly felt bad for Alana because I don't know what she thought was going to happen, but she was like, anybody care what I got to say? They're like, no. No, literally don't.
We don't care.
Go home.
Jasenia said, no, see you later.
Then they went and sat in that crib together.
This is what she said. Follow your heart and get the fuck out of paradise. And Riley said, it's time for you to pack your shit. So the two of them go and sit on this bed, which visually was very funny because it looked like a crib.
It did. It really did.
It really looked like they got into a crib.
And they were very sad.
They're very sad. Alana can't believe she's about to be sent home right away.
She's like, I was only here for 24 hours.
She's like,
I didn't get enough
literally
followers.
Just got here. But it's because now they put themselves in the position where like she doesn't want to stay and him go because like is she gonna get a fair shot now? But like I think she wanted him to maybe go so she could stay, but then like I don't know, it got messy, and it got messy enough where they were like, we just both have to go individually.
Right. They didn't leave together.
Well, he opened the door to her car and she was like, this is my car.
Yeah, get out of here, pal.
This is mean, but I hope that they invite Alana onto every show and she gets sent home the first night every time. It's fucked up. I'm sorry.
But why didn't they leave together? How did their date
Because
go?
they don't even really like
They don't like
each
each other.
How did their date go?
They want to.
They went zip lining.
Zip lining, yeah.
I have completely
not paying attention
I have
to it
completely
whatsoever.
removed that from my memory.
No,
Me too.
really did not pay attention to that date at all. Like we said, no offense. We don't care. Like that's why it was easy for them to be like, they're going to show up. This is going to be good drama and we're going to kick their asses off the show because nobody's really invested in their self, their person, their characters, even if you want to call it at this point, because this is what I was saying on Cutting Stems. Like Brendan is a big player. He went so far on Tayshia's season. He is much more involved in the franchise, just timeline wise, than Chris and Atlanta are two people who sent home night one. So for producers, they're just like taking candy from a baby. Chris and Atlanta, like, well, we don't give a fuck what happens to them.
Right.
You know who I want to show up on this beach so bad?
Who?
Heather.
Oh my
Remember
god.
when they made her cry when she came on?
I mean, that was they did her so dirty. But imagine she showed up to paradise.
They made her quarantine in a tiny room for like
it was
2 weeks.
unbelievable.
Shows up in the minivan.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
Yeah. So we all, I think, were left pretty frustrated, and the episode ended with Natasha and Demi kind of saying the same thing, like, where's this energy for Brendan? Nobody's calling out Brendan like they just did for Chris, basically making him leave the show. So hopefully we see that next week. As of right now, because of the clout situation, Brendan, yeah, I know, I was going to check.
How many followers this guy has.
Brendan has been losing Instagram
Title
followers.
this episode on follow Brendan Pieper.
284. And he was at 347.
Yeah.
So right now at 12:22 a.m. he is at 284,000. Natasha, oh my God, we're so close, guys.
No way. What's
we're
she at?
so fucking close. 278.
Dude,
I think when we wake up, it could be.
It'll
she
be
could have
over.
surpassed him.
It'll be over.
West Coast, everything. Yeah.
Oh, it'll be over.
The West Coast episode isn't over yet.
Yeah.
Right now, I mean, they're 284, 270. They're 6,000 followers apart. Come on,
Wait,
come
what?
on.
Wait,
by
what is-
tonight.
wait,
They
what is
got it by
Natasha at?
tonight.
Natasha is at 278,000.
That's
She
happening-
has truly almost gotten 200,000 followers.
That's a
in
lot
like
to take
24
in
hours.
one night.
That's happening in less than an hour.
Yeah, yeah.
Straight up. Because
She was at 265 when we were doing cutting steps.
I could have swore that you said 250 when we were doing cutting
Oh,
steps.
I think I said 260
Okay.
something. I'm pretty sure.
But still.
Yeah,
That's
it's
going to
wild.
happen very soon.
That is crazy.
One of the all-time backfires for Brendan. That is-
Piper went down to 79.
She started like 87.
Yeah.
So she had less to lose.
Let's get Piper under 10K.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Fucked up.
Dude, Brendan somehow put
It's
himself...
Brendan. I don't have. I have much more energy towards like Brendan
Same.
than I do Piper at this point. But
He's going to somehow,
But is it
some way-
because Brendan got there first? Like if Piper went first?
no,
and
100.
fuck-
Yes,
you know
it
what I
is.
mean?
I mean, it's
Yeah.
literally Brendan saying I incriminate myself.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he did.
Yeah, bro,
It
you
looks
probably
like
shouldn't
they
have said
neither-
out loud. I
Neither of them
incriminated
have
myself.
any remorse.
Right, and that's what also is sitting poorly with people. Is he posted an Instagram model shot in the pool, close up of his face, caption "Here for the wrong reasons," winky face. Piper posted a picture in Boston, which that did not, followers were like, yeah, we see you in Boston where Brendan lives, and wrote, all is fair in love and war. And then, Piper did the Instagram story of, hey, just a reminder, this is reality TV, edited, produced, and cut down show isn't going to show you every single thing said and done. An edited and produced show can't show you conversations that happened before filming between friends. I make light of this show because it's a lighthearted show. I don't believe in pitting women against each other. I don't believe men are prizes to be won at the expense of someone's feelings. I believe in open communication to get answers, not name calling on the internet. At the end of the day, it's a TV show. We, the viewers, are shown what makes the best television, just as any show. And folks, what we have here is a very successful show. I like I said, it's the same thing with Aaron. I fucking don't talk to me about how it's a fake show.
Right.
Yeah.
It is a show.
So are you telling me you're just acting? Like this is all like fake?
Right, because you can't... Editing is not changing what's happening.
Yeah.
Because what clearly happened is that Brendan and
Editing
Piper were
did
together.
not change you two sitting on the daybed talking about your Instagram followers.
Right. It didn't change you guys having dinner and basically saying and talking about the plan that you guys hatched together. Like that's... You can't edit that together.
Right.
We just watched it happen.
And she did put out a little bit of like a sassy TikTok of like me coming on to Paradise, like not giving a fuck, like ready to, do what I gotta do. It's
Nope.
like, oh, I don't believe in pitting women against each other. Okay, all right, fine. That is fine. We understand it is a TV show. We get it. It is, of course, a TV show. But at this point, people are very upset.
Right. Brendan's about to lose 100,000 Instagram followers. I didn't even think that was possible.
I didn't think that's possible.
That seems
Because I feel like you
there's
always
that-
have equal amount of people like finding out about them
Yeah.
and then they go and follow and it
Yeah.
like offsets it. But
I
Right.
just didn't even think that many people were watching the show live.
I guess Bachelor Nation is still
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
alive.
strong, baby.
oh, they're
yeah.
they're strong.
Man.
That's almost good though. Maybe for future people, it's like, hey, we don't want to get like lose followers if they catch us.
Right, that might
It'll-
be because we were trying to think of deterrence on
Yeah.
how you get single people on Bachelor in Paradise, and it might be like the court of
We'll
public
expose
opinion.
you and you'll lose all your followers.
Right, you will lose. We watched a man lose 100,000.
We watched a
Instagram
man
followers
die on this show.
in a little over 24 hours.
Insane.
Oh
Which-
my god, their relationship's falling apart right now, probably because they're losing so many followers.
Yeah.
Or
They
does it
have-
bring them closer together? Who knows? It's
They
all,
have the
this will
count.
be the test of their relationship. Either they really like each other and they're like, fuck this, we're just gonna fucking date so hard in everyone's face. They're gonna be sick about it, or they're just torn apart. They're losing so many followers they can't be together.
Right.
I think they have to fake it at least for like another 6 months.
And you know what? I'm not going to lie. Maybe this is going to scare some of these contestants.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, you think you're just going to automatically go on this show, gain fame, gain followers. You don't have to worry about anything. Like, be a good person and
We're going to unfollow your ass.
Yeah. Show up to the show single. That's it.
Your Instagram post will not be nearly worth as nearly.
Really,
worth
that's
as much.
all it is.
They have so
Show
much power.
up to the show single.
Imagine if on the show they put up a graphic being like, unfollow this person.
Oh, everyone would do it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You could get them like all their followers gone.
It's crazy.
Show up single. That's
Show
it.
up
That's the
single.
message
That's
of the
really
show.
it.
Show up single.
We're really tired of this because we watched 2 nights of the exact same shit happening. Brendan and Pieper and Kristen and Alana, very, very similar.
Fun to watch, though.
Yeah. Certainly a wild scene.
2 really good episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
they,
episodes.
Yeah. Yep. Look, and that's why I come back to the producers
I
scene,
know.
because they just put together some quality reality television right there. So
Yeah, they do.
Just
True.
always something to consider. And I think that wraps it up. We'll be back next week. And hopefully when you're listening to this, Natasha has more followers than Brendan.
For sure.